Cardigan had Britain's biggest jeans factory, and it made 35,000 pairs of jeans a week, every week for 40 years. And then all of a sudden, in 2002, the factory closed, and then 400 world-class makers had nothing to make.
UK businesses have worried about having access to the right skills for more than a generation. There is a wealth of talent and experience in the country, but matching it with what businesses need today is a hard problem, and one in urgent need of a solution. The UK faces two pressing issues. First, post-COVID, to attract older workers back into high-value jobs that contribute to economic growth, whether through retraining or new ways to use existing skills. And second, to build a base of new in-demand skills. Amdaris is creating a new workforce in the tech sector, outside of the traditional London and South East heartland. Whilst Hyatt, a high-end jeans maker in Cardigan, West Wales, has reopened a jeans factory that closed in 2002, allowing it to tap into the experienced older workforce that was already there, channeling their skills into new, valuable roles and matching those with newer tech and creative roles.
We've been hearing for a long time from businesses that they've had issue with skill shortages. So this is not a new problem for the UK economy, because as the economy evolves and we have new technologies and also we have new demands and changes in focus of what we actually need, the demand for skills changes over time.
The old factory fought the battle of who could be the cheapest, and it wasn't us. And it's never going to be us, ever again. If we fight the battle of who could be the best, that actually could be us. The story is, can this town make jeans again? And the answer is yes.
Gladwell talked about 10,000 hours of being a grandmaster of chess. Well, the grandmasters in this factory have done 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 hours of learning how to do one particular thing better than anybody else on the planet. And what we do in the factory is we get a grandmaster and it takes the gene all the way down the line and makes the entire gene. And no one else does that, because no one else has the skills to do that.
Started working in this building 40 years ago. Left school 15, started here as a little trainee. Obviously the place closed down, which was very sad for the town. When I came back to join Hyatt, I didn't know if I could sew, because I hadn't sewn for so many years. You know, you don't forget those skills.
You know, we started in 2012, bit by bit, you know, the world suddenly got to know us, and we had some, big lucky moments. Apple put us in their TV commercial, Meghan Markle wore our jeans.
One of the guys in the office came out and said, Kensington Palace are on the phone. Oh gosh, what do they want? It just went absolutely crazy then. We had to take the phones off the hook. Our order books, we had to close it down because there was so many orders. We sign every pair of jeans that we make, so I was very happy to sign Meghan Markle's jeans.
I started here in 1968. I left school at 15 and then basically stayed here ever since. We're all getting on a bit, and when I first joined David, I said, look, I'm getting on a bit now, but I want to pass my knowledge and skill on. Pattern design, pattern making, how patterns go together, how fabrics react to different products, and having all that knowledge and passing that on takes time. So it's not a 5-minute thing.
Basically, well, I've been Dad's apprentice for the last 5 years. I can remember being a child and 3, 4, 5 years old, Dad used to pop into the factory on a Saturday to get bits ready for Monday, and did say I'd never get into it. But it's funny, things turn around, so.
We get on pretty well, like, yeah. We have our days, have our moments, but yeah, for the most part, yeah. It's been nice spending time with them, to be honest.
We've got to go and find the next generation of makers. Now, not everybody wants to make, but once you find them, you go, right, okay, let's invest. because that's the next generation. That's how we're going to win long term. And we have to be a business. We have to make a margin that is sufficient in the business to keep us to not just to survive, but to thrive.
We're thinking maybe this one for the Facebook ad, because that one's been doing well. I moved back in 2019 from London. I studied fashion at Bristol and then moved away to London because I thought that's kind of the only place I could get a job. So luckily when I was ready to move back, there was the opportunity to do that here. It's definitely kind of giving people the confidence to stay around and to kind of build the community. We've had a lot of primary schools, secondary schools come in, and some of them don't even know that we're here and kind of can't believe that we make jeans here.
I've always thought about Hyatt as two factories. And so one factory makes jeans and the other has to make content. And you go, oh, which one's more important? You go, well, which leg is more important for you? You have to be as good at making as you are at selling and vice versa.
Hey, sir. Yeah, welcome. And you too.
Wales is a micro-business economy. 98% of businesses in Wales employ under 9 people. So what we need are businesses like Hyatt, with a footprint on the world stage, to actually go out there and say, look, this is who we are. These are the skills we've got. It's a really win-win situation. Obviously, older skills, but also bringing new people in. Look, this is an area of Wales, which is 34% of the Wales landscape, but only 7% of the population. So you've got the big issues of trying to attract individuals to stay here, but also to come in and work as well.
Amdaris, a Bristol tech company, is helping to lead a community of firms in the southwest of England to build a tech skills base outside of London and the southeast, where it's flourished for many years.
The plan is to keep growing, for the HQ to be here in Bristol, to grow our presence here. The strategy really is to become a name that's associated with tech in the UK, but especially in Bristol. Having a community and a feeling that there's a lot of opportunities in Bristol is a way to help retain that talent and make sure it's not going off to kind of the classic places like New York and London.
Our passion is to build a tech community here. So the more events we can host here and build that community feel, the better. It's always great to network for different skill sets and more experience.
We have a real focus on kind of growing talent and retaining people. So our retention's in the 90%, to 91, 92%.
Having the right skill set is really, really important, but knowing what skill sets are coming on the horizon is perhaps even more important. And this is where it comes to how are we developing our people? How are we setting up systems to cross-train people? How are we finding that talent that can take on those technology skills and be ready for the future demand that comes about.
We also allow people to come in, not just the senior level, but also the more entry level, which allows people to transition from the industry, which is not tech.
I got the job at Amdaris because I looked at my portfolio instead of looking at how many years of experience that I have and how passionate I am about product design. So I really appreciate that.
All of the countries that we're in, we have really worked at saying, right, okay, who are the top students within that area? How can we bring them on? We bring them into an apprenticeship, and then we develop them in Amdaris, so a 3-month apprenticeship. So for us, not only does that mean that we always are able to say, right, we know we've got this steady flow of talent, which gives the organisation a baseline. But the statistics have shown us that those people who we mint as talent, they're likely to stay with the organisation longer, they're happier. We know that there is a diversity of talent out there, which would be great from an apprenticeship perspective, but often it's difficult to get to that talent, or the barriers to entry and things like that make it quite difficult.
I support from a financial point of view by, I'm looking at budgeting, I'm looking at forecasting, I'm really looking at kind of what roles are needed, because every department head or manager has a list of things that they want, and you have to kind of look at them all and prioritize. Amdaris can play a role in kind of the wider prosperity of Bristol in general, right? So you need to have a strong business community in order to ensure the success of a city, right? There's lists of cities who have been based on hard industry that has declined. Bristol's a great example of one that's kind of moved away from that. There's everything from a strong finance industry here. There's tech, there's creativity, and it becomes a great draw for people to move here, and that can help a city thrive.
Chartered accountants primarily, I see them as business advisors. So they have a huge role to play in knowing their client, understanding where the gaps may be and where the opportunities are for their clients to upskill and improve the way they run the business.
You want your town, your local community to do well. And business is part of that community. And I'm really proud that we're in this town and we're doing our little bit.
I think the role that chartered accountants play is massive, particularly here in Wales. We're either running businesses at the very heart of the businesses on the board, or we're advising people how to run their businesses. And there's nothing more thrilling than an opportunity to be able to make a difference and to actually advise, encourage, support, offer information to get businesses up and running and play their part in the economic success of the nation.
For too long, a shortage of skills has undermined business confidence, investment, and growth across the UK. There are many success stories, but they need coherent long-term policies to bear fruit at a national scale. Creating meaningful jobs for people allows businesses and local communities to thrive, and people to build more fulfilling lives.